something for others, man. Just keep doing it. Even if it's something small.
Yeah, even if it's something small, man.
Small things mean so much. So, there you go.
Should be 29.
29. He said Mike.
You ready to rock?
Ready.
Been watching too much Mike Tyson.
I never get tired of Mike, bro. I could like go on social media, YouTube, and just pick like type in Mike and highlights, and can never get tired of those knockouts.
This one good too?
Yep.
All right, man.
Yep, that one's going.
All right, let's get started. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Against the Ropes podcast. This is episode 29. Is that correct? Sounds about right.
29.
29, man. It's
Give
good
or
when you
take.
start losing count.
Right?
You know? That's a good thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm Gio Garcia. I'm alongside Christian Mosqueda today.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Pretty good, man. It's a
I'm
crazy
good.
week, right?
Yeah, crazy week.
Man.
Energy's kind of low,
Yeah.
but yeah.
That's crazy, bro. Like, it's crazy that I was texting your brother. I don't know why at that exact time when that happened. I texted your brother for no reason. I was just like, oh, let me hit up Alexis and see what he's doing. And it was like around 3:20 for no reason at
Wow.
all. And well, obviously your brother and yourself, you guys are big Nipsey Hussle fans, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
For a while. I think we could talk about it after,
Mm-hmm.
toward the end of the show.
So, yeah.
You know, it's not a good way to start.
It's not a good way.
My opinion. You know, let's talk some boxing, man. Let's start with
Kingery.
Ryan Garcia.
Ryan Garcia.
2 rounds.
2 rounds.
2 rounds. Scored a knockout. It was in Indio, California. Fantasy Springs. Can we take anything away from this?
It's not a lot, man. He didn't give
Yeah.
us enough. I was hoping this would go at least 5 rounds.
At least 5?
At least 5. I was hoping. You knew it was gonna end in a knockout,
Yeah.
but
When we were talking about it, that was the only thing I was kind of looking for, you know, the knockout.
yeah.
And he got it. I didn't really care how many rounds,
Mhm.
because lately I don't want to say he had been struggling, but he hadn't gotten those big knockouts lately. So second round knockout, I think it's good for him.
Mhm.
Is there anything in particular that you liked from his performance?
I mean, again, there wasn't a lot that you could take away. I love seeing his speed, letting his hands go.
Yeah.
You know, that's something that you always, enjoy. Just seeing a fighter let his hands go. Because sometimes nerves get to some of these fighters and they clinch up and they just tighten up. And nope, not Ryan. He before the knockout, he just let them go. Not everything landing, but he knew what the intentions were, and they were bad. So
Yeah, I liked what I saw from him.
Mhm.
I liked what I saw. It looked like a good show.
yeah, oh yeah,
You
sold
know,
out.
He got a quick knockout, spectacular knockout. You know, after the fight was over, he had Canelo on one side,
Mhm.
Oscar on the other side.
Yeah.
You know, he had some interesting words toward the Mayweather camp.
Yeah,
So I was entertained by the whole event.
Yeah.
You know, it looked good. It looked good.
yeah. You have when you have Oscar Golden Boy. He was a fighter that at one time was able to get those fans that normally don't check into boxing, and so
Yeah.
this is what Ryan is doing now. He's getting fans that normally don't tune in interested, and that's always good. And that showed with that sold out Indio show, and this just shows that maybe he needs a bigger venue now if he sold this one out. And I'm pretty sure there was more tickets that could have sold if this venue was bigger.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, having Canelo, having the present face of boxing there says a lot. And yeah,
Yeah, it was interesting because you kind of saw like 3 generations, right? Oscar, our
Mhm.
generation, when we grew up watching
Yeah.
boxing, and Canelo, the present, and then the guy who we talked about it before, right?
Yeah.
Can he be the future of boxing?
mm-hmm.
Can he bring it back, quote unquote? You know, and one thing that was really interesting, I saw it on Chicana Boxings. I don't know if it was like her Twitter or Instagram. She showed the crowd, right? and it was a bunch of women cheering for Ryan. So, like you said, you know, that's what Oscar did, right? Bringing those people who normally don't go to the venues or want to pay for a boxing fight, you know, bring in that interest, and that's what Ryan Garcia can do.
Yeah. And those words that he gave Mayweather, you know, just something like he's not scared. Obviously, he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to, you know, fight Mayweather's fighter, you know, the one that we had on the show via phone call. But
Say his name, man.
Rolly. I do like Rolly. I like Rolly.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to fight him now. And then it's something that we told him. I was like, Rolly, you know, like, it doesn't have to happen now. We do want to see it eventually. We would love to see that fight because of the, you know, the show that would be outside of the ring.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's in the driver's seat. He can say whatever. Like, you say this a lot, Gio. Like, sometimes fighters can say whatever they want because, you know, it might not happen immediately. But
I like Rolly's response when we asked him that.
Yeah.
Like, don't you think it's smarter to, you know, let it marinate a little bit? You know, you guys can make a little more money down the road. And he was like, fuck that. I want it now. You know, I like that response.
That's a true fighter right there, right?
Yeah.
Man, there's been some talk going between these two guys. And it's just, again, it's good for boxing. Let it marinate. Let them, you know, blow it up still.
Did you hear anything about what Ryan said, like, backstage about that potential fight?
What did he say? I heard something about the money that.
Yeah. That's the clip I saw.
Okay.
Where they asked him, and then he was saying, well, I don't need him. He needs me, right? Which I think everybody can agree with that. And he also said, oh, yeah, there's a lot of money, the 200K or whatever. And he was like, you know, I don't need the money.
Yeah.
I get money outside of boxing. You know, this guy, he gets money only through boxing. So he needs boxing and he needs me, right? So I thought that was interesting. Yeah, that's a clip that I saw. I thought that part was interesting.
Yeah, and I think Chicano made a good comparison of these two guys. It's like the La Olla Mayorga-ish in a way. You know, you do need a Mayorga type to sell the fight, to make it bigger than what it, you know, it might be in the ring. You know, when you have a good dance partner, that can make for fireworks inside the ring.
It always takes two to tango. Like, it's difficult to sell an event by yourself. You know, only so many can do it, right? You can count them probably on one hand. The Pacquiaos of the world, the Canelos, even Anthony Joshua. You know, Mayweather was able to do it by himself, Oscar De La Hoya, right? But it's difficult, and I think later on those two guys are going to need each other because of that entertainment aspect. But you know what? At first, I'm like, who's this Rolly kid, right? I remember I was telling you, but I thought he was entertaining. I thought he was cool. You know, you said he talked to him after his fight here at the StubHub Center, right? Seemed like a cool dude.
Seemed like a cool dude.
Yeah, he's growing on me. Despite all the antics and the sparring champion or whatever he wants to call himself. But
again, at the end of the day, it's a business. This kind of business, you need entertainment, and that's what Rolly does bring. And I was gonna make a point about this right now.
For my part, I can appreciate that if you bring the entertainment aspect, regardless of what you're doing. Obviously, if it's not out of line, I'm with it. Yeah,
he does have a small following, but a fervent like following where like his supporters really do, you know, back him to beat Ryan, and I think he taps into a good demographic. So the same way Canelo has a certain demographic that loves him, there's another demographic that doesn't like him. Doesn't, you know?
Speaking about
Canelo, so I'm saying like there's two demographics: the fans that Ryan has and the ones that Rolly has, and so. Okay, so I remember my point. So the two guys that Ryan just fought, obviously, like, nobody's gonna remember them. Why? Because they don't have that not just they're not at his level, but they weren't even able to make it entertaining outside of the ring. And this is what Rolly does bring. Yeah, that aspect.
His last opponent, Jose Lopez, I knew nothing about him going into the fight, and even leaving the fight, I still don't know anything about him. Right?
Yeah. So. And then Rolly is with the Mayweather camp. You know, he has, you know, this is a point that Rolly told us. He's like, why do you guys keep bringing up the Canelo team? I have a great team too. He's like, I'm in the Mayweather camp. Like, he gets a lot of good sparring. He gets a lot of good training. And I'm actually back him up with that point. He is right. He does have really good trainers, good sparring partners there, and so he is getting that experience there. So
And he said he's sticking with his team, right?
he's sticking with
His trainers and his corner, which that's what Canelo did, and he used to get a lot of criticism for it. So I can respect that from Rolly.
Yeah.
But just to summarize this fight or this event, I thought it was a good event. I enjoyed it. I mean, I was just chilling at home. It was live on the Zone, right?
Yeah.
So I was in bed just watching it, and it was a good little spectacle. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. 'Cause like you said, it was good seeing De La Hoya and Canelo there. They're backing him up. You know, they're polishing him to be this next, the next superstar, the next face of boxing in the years to come. So, yeah, this is exciting. You know, he has an exciting style. You know, he knows how to bring in the people. And, you know, we just want to see him with better competition, you know, in the years to come. So
Yeah, he's still, what, 20 years old?
still very young.
Still very young, man. You know, the only difference between Ryan Garcia and, like, 99% of other fighters is that at 20 years old, he's already getting so much attention,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
That's the only reason. Like, so many people are like, oh, he should start fighting a big name already, you know, but it's still very early on in his career.
Yeah.
What is it, 18 fights?
18 fights, yeah.
18 fights. And like I said, it's the only difference between him and most of these other boxers. They don't get that exposure when they have 15 fights, when they
Yeah.
have 17 fights, 18 fights, right? And he's getting that exposure. So I think he should just take it step by step, right?
Yeah.
Don't rush it. They're saying that he's going to fight for a world title by the end of the year.
Yeah. That's the
I don't
thing,
know if
that's
that's...
the thing about this is something I hear a lot about these fighters in this generation that very early on they're already like jumping for that title, and it's like
Yeah.
you got to kind of pay your dues first, you know. And I think Anthony Sims Jr. like said this best. Once you get that title, like where do you go from there?
Yeah. Once you get that peak, what's next, you know?
Yeah, and to do it very like early on. Yeah, I think they just need to slow it down just a little bit. Obviously, of course, they're gonna say these things, you know, for publicity or etc. But yeah, this is where you take advice from old school and take it slow. So do that grind, but time and place.
Yeah, I agree. And he's in good hands, Oscar, right?
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. Like we said before, he was a superstar as a boxer, and now he's doing it as a successful promoter. So
Yeah.
I think he's in good hands. Not everybody could be like Lomachenko, right? Straight off the bat, start fighting for world titles,
Yeah.
right? But even then, Lomachenko was already like what, 26,
He was 20. Yeah, he
27.
He was
He's
older.
you know. So
2 Olympic gold medals.
yeah,
So,
all the amateur experience in the world. So
yeah.
yeah. But talking about Lomachenko's fight is coming up.
Yep.
April 12th, Friday, Staples Center. Let's just
Yeah. What do you
just real quick. What can we expect from that fight?
From that fight?
I know you're gonna ask me. You were gonna ask me the same thing.
Yeah. For me personally, I just think Lomachenko is just on a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Hopefully it can last, more than 5 rounds. But again, I just think the levels are too. The disparity in levels is too much.
So you don't see it going past 5?
It might have like Loma doesn't, wants to give people, the rounds in. I don't want to say that word. I don't want to use, which one I want to say, but
Yeah.
if he does that, then it will, of course, it will go past the 5th round.
I think it will go past the 5th.
Yeah.
Only because his injury's still gonna be there, right? And last fight we saw that even though people want to say, oh, he was slowing down. He slows down when he fights bigger man.
Yeah.
He has more trouble. But I think that injury is still a thing, his shoulder. And I think he talked about it actually on the Teddy Atlas show. He was saying the whole training camp, he didn't use his right arm. So he went into this fight basically preparing himself to just use his left.
Just left.
Right? Because he didn't want to aggravate the injuries or he wanted to let it recover properly. So it's going to be interesting to me to see how he comes into this fight, right? Obviously, at 135, we still want to see if his power is there,
Yeah.
right? But it's going to be interesting. I think it goes past 5. I think it will.
Yeah.
But I still expect him to stop his opponent.
to dominate.
Yeah, to dominate, of
No.
course.
Something I want to see is like, I want to see the Nomaschenko again, the guy that makes him quit. Because it's been a couple fights where he's gone a distance or he's actually had to knock him out.
Yeah, and he's going up in weight. So,
yeah. But it was just like a moment of we were like on awe when it was like 3-4 back-to-back fighters that just quit.
Yeah,
and it wasn't just
good
any
opponents.
Fighters, good opponents.
Good
yeah.
opponents.
Regendow was, the king at 122, and we kind of expected it, for him to knock him out, but not to make him quit.
Didn't you pick Rigo in that fight?
Okay, we
actually bet. I remember we actually made a bet.
We did, but that was more of a hard. I was like, I want
hopeful thing.
Hopeful, yeah. Like you kind of like the Mikey.
Yeah. But the difference was that when Loma was fighting Rigondeaux, the much smaller fighter, like we said, he was making these guys quit.
Yeah.
Right. Something we couldn't see from Spence and Mikey. Right. So I think it was still very impressive, even though people don't want to say, oh, he hasn't fought anybody. Yeah. He doesn't have any names, or he's fighting smaller dudes. But still, the fashion that he was beating these guys in was pretty spectacular, especially when he fought Jonathan Walters.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Whatever. He was inactive for a while. He was having troubles outside the ring, whatever. But he still made him quit.
Yeah.
So to make another man quit.
Yeah.
I mean, how many people can you name actually do that nowadays? Where you make a guy go back to his corner and say, basically, no more. I don't want any more.
Yeah, because it's one thing to dominate an opponent, but you dominate him to the point where he's embarrassed.
Yeah.
To even want to continue. And these are fighters.
They're fighters.
These are guys that are taught not to quit, go out on your shield. You take the punishment, or you try, you do a Hail Mary.
You go out fighting. Yeah. Right?
But these guys were like, I don't even have a Hail Mary pass it, like to even like try. So why? And so there was like the 3-4 successes fight where he made them all quit, and I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
No one does that.
Yeah, but that's Lomachenko. Let's talk about that undercard because, it's already next week, Friday.
Yeah.
And by the time next episode comes out, I don't know if the fights are probably going to be that same day, right? That Friday. So we have Zurdo Ramirez fighting. Gilberto Ramirez fighting at 175 now.
Mm-hmm. Is his opponent again?
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah. But what can you expect from El Zurdo going into this fight, 175?
Obviously, this is more of a testing the waters at 175, preparing for bigger things, preparing for, the Kovalev Yarde winner if that fight is to come to fruition. But yeah, I want to see how he deals with us with the 175 with their power, with their size, how he moves in and out of the ring. Because these guys are gonna punch, gonna have more power, more strength, more size, and so
that's the thing I want to see. Yeah. If he can have enough power at 175 to make his opponents uncomfortable, because even at 168, we talked about it. It's not like he had the most power.
He didn't.
So I would like to see him get a knockout just to make a statement, like I'm here, right? All the 175s.
Yeah.
I'm here, and I want to see a knockout, man.
Yeah, because it's not the same that you beat a bigger fighter convincingly without the knockout.
Yeah.
It's like someone can say like, okay, you beat him, but maybe this guy didn't have the power that I possess. And maybe I can walk through your punches and, finish you off. And this is what a lot of the bigger guys can do to the small guys, especially the ones that are barely testing the waters in any weight division. So, yeah, I agree with you, Joe. I want to see a knockout if possible, or at least some knockdowns where he shows
some power. Show some power.
Yeah, because from 168 and up, it has to do a lot with power. Of course, technical abilities still matter, but yeah, that's those weight divisions up. That's where that power can change a fight.
Yeah, so I want to see a knockout by El Zurdo. It's a pretty good card, right?
Who else we got?
We have Mike Alvarado. I'm still looking for this fucking list.
Mile High. So we could pull it up on the track.
Yeah, I know Mike Alvarado's in it. Obviously, what the fucking stupid ESPN app, dude.
Let's do schedule ad. Could always trust BoxRec to find these things.
Could always trust a desktop.
For real. Let's see, this is April 12th, right?
Yeah, April 12th. It's gonna be live from the Staples Center. We have our tickets. We're gonna be there. So if you guys see some people walking around with some wolves on their shirts or some Against the Ropes gear,
How many tickets
that's
you buy
gonna be
again?
us.
How many tickets you buy?
We got 8, so we're gonna have 8 people coming out with us.
8 people deep.
It's gonna be fun, man. Shout out to the Wolfpack. They're gonna be out there with us. All right, so Zurdo Ramirez is fighting Tommy Carpensy.
Oh, Tommy Carpensy.
10
He's
rounds,
experienced
light
fighter.
heavyweights. What's his record?
29-6 and
1 draw. Okay.
So his losses have come to Alexander Gvozdyk. He's very, there's no shame in
Fought
that.
recently.
He's lost to Adonis Stevenson in 2015. So
He's
Andre
coming off
Fonfara.
of what? 1, 2, 3 wins.
Yeah, 3 wins.
Okay, so
So the losses he has are against proven fighters. Cleverly, these are guys that people know in the boxing world. So
yeah, I always like those types of fighters,
yeah,
right? Like people come to mind are like Josecito Lopez,
Mhm.
who have been in there with very good boxers.
But just come up short.
Yeah, and they're gonna put up a fight.
Yeah.
Just looking at this guy's record, that's what you can see, right? The experience
Mhm.
of being in there with big, good opponents in that division.
Yeah. So this should be a good test for Zurdo.
Yeah, and then we have Arnold Barbosa fighting against Mike Alvarado, 10 rounds,
Yes, this is
welterweight division.
Yeah, undefeated fighter. He's in the, in the winner's corner. So maybe he's expected to win. So Mike Alvarado is a proven veteran. So it's gonna be a good test for the for Arnold.
20-0.
27 years.
What's Mike's age? What, 30?
He's in his 30s.
37?
He is in his 30s, late 30s, I want to say. 38, yeah.
38?
He's
Wow.
up there.
When was the last time he fought?
2018.
2018.
Robbie Can, a bunch of names that just
And he has a good little streak, right, of wins.
Wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 wins in a row.
Yeah, so those are the notable names of that card. It's going to be on ESPN, correct?
Yeah, ESPN.
ESPN Top Rank. We will be there at the Staples Center. That should be a good one, man. I'm actually excited for this one.
Yeah.
I don't get excited for too many fights, but
Yeah,
this one should
anytime
be
you
good.
put in Vasily, you get excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's one of those dudes that, to me, it doesn't matter his opponent. I just want to see him fight.
Yeah.
And then coming off that injury, it's going to be interesting to see what he does and then what he does after, too. Obviously, you don't want to overlook this opponent, but it looks like he's favored,
Yeah.
Vasily Lomachenko.
So what's your prediction, Gio? Once again?
I'll say like 8 rounds. I'll say 8.
8 rounds?
Yeah.
And Anthony Corolla, I mean, obviously, I did say, there's levels, but he is a proven fighter. He's been in there with some pretty good names himself. Yeah, just to name a few, Linares twice, who he lost to by decision. He's lost to, who else? Gary Sykes. I mean, he's been in there with some good names. He's beaten Dalis Perez, so. Yeah, again, he always comes up short, but like you said, we're there to see
Experience, man.
yeah, there to see high tech and see if he could bring some of that shine again. Of course, he's ranked number 1 pound for pound almost universally. If you don't have him there, then you don't know shit about boxing. But it's funny because we went to the workout and
Yeah.
we noticed that he was. I don't know if you noticed that he wasn't hitting the bag as.
Yeah.
Or his robe wasn't on point, and
I saw the videos. I'm like, that's not Lomachenko.
that's not. Yeah, and we're just like, he needs to look almost human so people could be like, all right, like I have a chance.
Yeah.
In a way, I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose, but shoot, whatever helps his opponents, have some pace.
Get in the ring.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, but that should be exciting. April 12th, ESPN Staples Center. Catch it however you can. It is a Friday evening, so I believe there's another fight going on the next day, right? There's a couple fights. I think the Clarissa Shields one
Oh yeah, that's right.
going on the next evening, and then against What's her name?
Miss Christina Hammer.
Christina Hammer.
Who do you favor in that fight? First of all, are you excited to see that fight? Yes or no?
No.
No. Okay.
I'll probably watch it.
Yeah.
I mean,
To me, like, if you're not excited to see a woman's, or if you're not excited to see, like, at least watch this one. This one is it. This is like, if you're gonna see one, this is it, because these are the two, most talented women in not just now, but the history of boxing. So
that's what it seems like. All right, so that fight is gonna be live from Atlantic City,
Mhm.
New Jersey, Showtime. Clarissa Shields against Christina Hammer. 10 rounds for the IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO women's middleweight title.
Yeah.
So
So
unification.
all the titles on the
You
line.
are the champion
Yeah, you're
if you win this fight. So
So that pretty much, I mean, they're pretty. I'm sure they're already in the running to be in the Boxing Hall of Fame, but this one just puts you up there with the Lala Ali's, or the quote unquote the greatest female boxer of all time.
yeah.
So
So far I said no. I'm not excited to watch it, but I just need something to entice me to this fight, man.
yeah,
I need to see
you
something.
need to see the.
Some Paulie Malignaggi slapping the other guy or something.
I agree. Did you?
you know?
I know your brother saw the
Yeah,
20.
I
Did you
saw
see
it. Yes.
They were too calm, right? I needed to see something too. Did you?
The
When they were sitting
Clarissa.
down.
No, I didn't.
No?
I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about Paulie.
We'll get to Paulie right now, man.
Yeah.
We can talk about Paulie for. So yeah, they had their, I guess you can say their all access episode, and they were both. Obviously, Clarissa was more like in her face ish, but they were both sitting down and throwing little jabs here and there. But that's what it was. I was like, I need to see more. Like, somebody say something to really piss the other off. But
Yeah, that's
for the most part, they were pretty respectful. I want to say. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm still excited to see the fight. I know Chris is not here right now, but he's very excited to see that too. So,
Yeah. And
but I get you, Joe. You need
yes.
some a reason. So
I don't know
it
too much
goes.
about him. I don't think I've ever seen him fight.
Mm,
So I know Clarissa Shields talks trash.
yeah,
But I don't know. I need to see something. man.
something. Yeah, something that goes viral.
And I was looking at the undercard. It's not even any names that I
Yeah.
know. So they're not doing a great job at selling it to me as of now.
Yeah. And yeah, I get you. So you want to move on to the Magic Man?
Let's do it.
Man.
So Paulie Malignaggi, now he signed a contract to fight in bare-knuckle. What is it called? Bare-knuckle boxing or
Bare-knuckle
bare-knuckle
boxing.
fighting?
Yeah.
What is this, like a league or
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's just. I want to think it's kind of like what's the BKB?
BKB? Yeah.
Something like that. They're trying to put some hype behind this sport, and so yeah, bare knuckle boxing. No gloves, just knuckles, man.
So Paulie hasn't fought in a while, right?
Yeah.
The last time we saw him, quote unquote, fighting was against Conor McGregor
Oh man.
in the sparring sessions.
Yeah.
So he's making his return. He obviously has a gig for Showtime,
Mhm.
Doing the ringside commentary. And he's pretty good at it. I
Yeah.
like him. He's
Yeah.
entertaining.
It's pretty good.
All right. So what do you think he's looking for coming back doing bare knuckle fighting? Bare knuckle fighting.
Yeah, there's only two things I can think of. I either think that he really believes in his boxing ability, and he really thinks the other guy
Okay.
just won't have a shot. Maybe he's seen like Mayweather do these, exhibitions against non-boxers. He's like, man, I'll box them. I should be able to beat them with relatively ease.
Yeah.
I guess
Because
you
he
could say.
always says that boxers have the best accuracy, right?
Yeah.
Out of any other combat sports. So
And that makes sense.
Mhm.
I get that. My first example would be probably Ronda Rousey versus the boxer chick. Her name is. I can't think of her name
I
right now.
don't remember.
But Ronda Rousey was defeated by a boxer, and so, it was mostly based on position and accuracy. So, I understand that Paulie's point. So that's one. Second, I think it's just a fighter in him that just wants to get back in it, and obviously he's not in the. He can't do it in boxing anymore because his time has passed.
Yeah.
He can't compete with the what division was he in? Welterweights, super welters. He can't compete in that stage anymore.
Yeah.
So to me, I think it's just the fighter's itch to get back in it and, just get in there again.
Yeah, at first I thought it was like money, right? They
That's-
must have paid him
that's-
really well for him to be doing this. But
Yeah.
you said something interesting, because a lot of people do criticize boxing, and I think that's part of why he slapped this guy. We'll get into it in a bit, but
Oh my god.
they disrespect boxing, and he, like you said, I think he wants to show him that his boxing skills can beat up a lot of people
Yeah.
and essentially knock them out.
Mhm.
Right, because he wasn't a knockout artist per se
Yeah.
in boxing. So I think he wants that. He wants people to say, "Oh shit, this guy can box." And I think in his mind, he thinks that he can beat most of these guys up,
Mhm.
right? So that's what I think. I don't
Yeah.
know, money and then the respect
Yeah.
to earn that more respect,
Mhm.
But what happened? When was this? Yesterday?
This is yesterday. Yeah.
You want to talk about it a little bit?
I'll let you talk about it. I'll just talk about it.
So Paulie Malignaggi is making headlines for. So this guy's name is Artem Lobov, right?
Mhm.
Who?
Where's he from? You know?
Oh man, he sounds Eastern
Yeah,
European.
I was gonna say that.
Russian? I don't know.
Russian, Bulgarian, something like that.
He's scheduled to fight, right? He has a fight coming up or something. That's how they confronted each other.
Okay.
But Paulie Malignaggi heard some words and proceeded to slap this guy in the face.
Oh man.
And he said, "Yeah, I slapped you like a bitch because that's what you're acting like right now, like a bitch."
Damn.
So he just slaps this guy. And I was reading that this guy is was stablemates. Well, I don't even know Conor McGregor's situation right now, retiring. I don't know. But supposedly he was stablemates with this Conor McGregor and this Lobov guy were stablemates. I think part of that had to do with, did you see the pictures that came out of Conor
Yeah, I
McGregor
just
and
saw that. Lily
Paulie
put 'em-
Malignaggi's
Yeah.
sparring session?
Yeah.
So some words were exchanged, and Paulie slapped him.
Man, dude, just Paulie's react, like every time he gets into it with somebody, his reaction, the way his like eyes just bubble up, and
Very
the
intense.
shit he says, like it's just funny, man. It's just entertaining. Again, back to that, entertaining.
Yeah.
It's just, man, I'm actually really excited to see this one now. For some reason, like I want to see it. I want to see like what does Paulie have left, like what and see like how he mixes it up.
Yeah, so Paulie, real quick, he was 36-8 as a boxer with 7 knockouts.
Yeah, 7 knockouts. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to put some clips of the video, but you guys should look it up and listen to the audio of it
Yeah.
because it was actually pretty funny.
Don't threaten me here, bro. Don't threaten me here. Don't threaten me here. Next time it's the hardest slap. That was a big slap for a bitch.
Paulie's a good trash talker.
He is.
But yeah, so Paulie's gonna fight right soon for the bare knuckle fighting, and I think this guy's a possible opponent.
Yeah.
So we're talking about entertainment, right? Selling a fight. Now I would want to watch this because of this spectacle,
Yeah.
and it didn't seem fake to me.
It didn't.
Didn't seem staged. So I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Thumbs
No.
up.
Thumbs up. Entertainment value right there. Man, Paulie, man. I want to see Paulie get a knockout. I want to see him get his knockout again.
Yeah. I want to see that too because we haven't seen it in a while.
Yeah.
Um,
And at one time, Paulie, I mean, he's never had knockouts, but he has a really good jab.
yeah.
He has a really good jab.
He has good boxing skills.
Yeah.
But he was probably a little smaller for the welterweight division.
Yeah.
Real quick, most memorable Paulie fight.
Fudge. Most memorable. I want to say the Amir Khan one. That one's fun.
Amir
Even
Khan?
though Amir Khan like washed him up, but
I don't even remember that one.
oh
I
no,
remember watching it,
okay,
but I
I
don't
know,
remember.
I know which one was pretty memorable. The Adrian Broner one was pretty good, just because of the shit that went outside of the ring.
Yeah.
That one was good.
And it was a pretty
Entertainment-wise.
close fight.
Yeah, yeah. I expected Broner to like beat him like convincingly, but
Yeah.
no, freaking Paulie hung in there. Yep.
Probably to me was the one against Sean Porter.
Oh,
Because I was never a big fan of Paulie Malignaggi, but I feel bad for him that fight.
got steamrolled.
He got
Man.
washed. Porter was just bigger than him physically.
Yeah,
And I wasn't a big fan of Porter back then.
yeah.
And I just felt bad for Paulie, man.
It was like 4 rounds, right?
I don't remember, but I just remember he got washed. And
Yeah.
then he told Porter after the fight, like, all right, you better go out there and be a world champ, man.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say I got beat up by just anybody. I want to say I got beat up by a world champion, someone who was for real.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I remember that fight
Yeah.
vividly. Felt bad for Paulie.
Yeah. It's just crazy because I think after that fight, Porter he lost to Kell Brook, if I'm not mistaken, and so
Was
were
it right after?
I think so. But now you see Brook now he's on top of the world again, once again, as
Porter?
the title. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like, okay, Porter, we see you. Bouncing back, taking Paulie's words to heart. Nah.
Yeah, that's why he earned my respect.
Yeah.
Because he showed that he can come back, right? To
Mhm.
me, I don't like judging fighters until I see them get hit for real.
Yeah.
Until I see them
That's true.
go through adversity.
Mhm.
And he lost that fight to Kell Brook, and it was a terrible fight.
Yeah.
It was one of the most boring fights that I've seen. But he lost. He
Mhm.
just got outboxed.
Yeah.
And then he came back.
I think with Porter, like he learns from his losses. He learns from those fights, and yeah, I think you brought this point up. Like maybe that's the reason why he fought against Ugas the way he did, because he learned from that Kell Brook fight. If he keeps that same style, he probably would have been, outboxed here and there.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
No, he's not just that guy who's gonna come straight at you,
yeah,
straight forward, right?
Mhm.
So, yeah, you're right. He lost to Kell Brook right after. That
Yeah.
was here at the StubHub Center. And he had some victories against Eric Bone, then Adrian Broner. Then he lost after that to Keith Thurman, which I respect him for taking the fight, and then he beat Andre Berto, beat Adrian Granados, who's fighting Danny Garcia
yeah,
on April 20. He fought Danny Garcia after and beat Danny Garcia. And I feel bad for doubting him in that fight. I remember I was like, I want him to win, but I think Danny Garcia can beat him. And Sean Porter, I mean, he just out-hustled Danny Garcia.
Yeah,
Didn't let him breathe, threw a lot of punches, and beat Danny Garcia,
Mhm.
right? And after that, he beat Yordenis Ugas.
Yeah.
On paper. People are
On
still
paper.
arguing about that. But, I mean, he showed he can come back. And it's going to be interesting to see what fight he gets next in that
Mhm.
welterweight division. Because
Yeah.
everybody right now is saying they want to fight each other, right?
yeah.
But we'll see.
We'll see what happens.
After this Danny Garcia fight, then all the dust is going to settle.
Mhm.
And we're going to see what fight gets made next in that welterweight division.
Yeah, this is a great time to be a welterweight. I mean, the welterweight division's always exciting, but this time around, in our present time, they're very colorful personalities, I guess you can say, in the welterweight division. So we
Yeah.
can't wait for those guys to mix it up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But let's go back to last weekend. Did you even watch that Kostic fight?
So I did not see it. I
You
did
didn't
not
watch
see
it?
I
No
heard it was-
highlights, nothing?
I heard it was flat.
Were there any
Uh,
highlights at all?
I heard it was a flat. I saw a few highlights, but not a lot of takeaways.
I heard it was pretty boring, so I didn't
Yeah.
watch it. I heard some comments that people were saying, "Oh, maybe he still has that last fight in his
Yeah.
mind." Obviously, last time he fought, he won the championship. He beat
Adonis Stevenson,
Adonis
yeah.
Stevenson. Adonis Stevenson ended up very badly hurt after
Mhm.
that fight. Right,
Yeah.
he was in a coma.
Yeah,
Are there any updates on his condition?
I know he's responsive now, but yeah, it seems like he's still in very bad shape. He's not. Obviously, his career is over.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'll never fight
He's about
again.
42, 41,
41.
around there.
41. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was badly hurt after the fight. He got stopped in that fight. And yeah, people were saying that fight was still in Kostic's head a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't watch it. I heard
Mhm.
it wasn't a very good fight, so I didn't even bother going back.
Yeah.
But that's that.
Yeah, that's the nature of boxing. So dangerous, and this happened with Stevenson. It kind of just show if that thing affected goes in this fight. It shows you that these guys are fighters. They're still human. They still feel. They still have all these things going on, and obviously you don't want. At the end of the day, these guys have families, and so you do think about that. You do think about that opponent, like you don't want to do that again. Or obviously he didn't do it on purpose, but
Nobody wants that on their head,
Yeah.
on their hands, you know.
exactly. So if people are saying that last fight still affected him, and this fight was a little flat, then it makes some sense there.
It must be difficult, man.
Yeah.
And you see it by after every fight, you're gonna see a common response in both fighters. You know, they're gonna hug it out.
Yeah.
You know, they're gonna embrace each other, show respect. You know, because it's a tough sport, man.
Mhm.
You gotta basically beat somebody up for a living.
Yeah.
You know, and get punched in the face for a living. So I think only they can understand what it really takes to make a living out of this sport, right? For us, obviously, it looks fun.
Yeah.
You know, you want to see a
That's
lot
true.
of punches thrown, a lot of punches landed,
Yeah.
but only they know what they go through on a daily basis.
Mhm.
Daily basis, not
Daily
just the fight.
basis.
You know, because these guys are sparring. You know, even though they're wearing headgear, you can still get a concussion with that headgear.
Yeah.
You can still get punched in the nose.
Yeah.
You know, you can still get hurt sparring. So
Mhm.
it's a lot of sacrifices, man.
Yeah, and this brings me back to this point that I hear a lot from boxers. So we ask them usually, like, do you guys like boxing movies? Do you guys did you guys watch this last movie? What'd you think about it? And I hear the same response, a lot.
Yeah.
That they're like, well, we're not really into like those boxing movies because it's so difficult to encompass everything that we go through in just one movie in 90 minutes. Like we go through so much
Yeah.
shit, I guess, that it's like it's hard for us to get excited over like, making it to the top in 90 minutes. It's just not. There's so many highs and lows that it's not. It's unrealistic, I guess you could say that.
Yeah. I remember Anthony told us
Yeah.
that when we asked him about watching Creed,
Yeah.
right? But you know what movie I did watch recently? Last week, I watched The Raging Bull for the first time.
Oh, did you? I haven't
Yeah.
seen that.
You haven't seen it?
I have not yet.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. I've seen clips, but
Yeah.
it's good.
It's a good movie. It has
It's
Robert De Niro
yeah.
and Joe Pesci, so it felt like I was watching some.
Oh, I didn't know Joe Pesci was in
Yeah,
it.
he
Okay,
plays his
dope.
brother in the
Good show.
movie. So I thought I was watching like some Goodfellas or
Yeah.
some Casino.
Yeah.
Gave me
Nah.
those vibes. And they're from New York, right, or New Jersey,
Yes.
or same
Somewhere in
difference,
the
right?
Yeah.
East Coast. Are there
All
any
the same.
listeners from the East Coast, man? Let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comment section on YouTube. But it was a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the movie. I didn't know he fought Sugar Ray Robinson like 6 times.
Yeah. Yeah. 6
That's
times,
insane.
and I think Jake LaMotta beat him once, right?
He
So,
beat him the first or second time, if I'm not
one
mistaken.
of the early ones.
Yeah, one of the early ones, and then he kept coming back for more, and he wanted to beat Sugar Ray, man.
Yeah.
But it was a good fight. I recommend it.
That shit's crazy. Like back in the day, how many times they would fight each other.
Yeah.
And if you look at their records, they fight like every 3 weeks. I'm like,
Yes.
fuck, 15 rounders. Like, you're like,
Yes.
what the fuck?
When I was watching the movie, they show one fight.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, they're fighting again. I had to make sure this is accurate, so I paused the movie. I looked up their records. I was like,
Jesus.
what? Come on, dude. And these fights look brutal, man. It's not
Yeah.
like these guys are trying to outbox each other.
Yeah.
They're trying to take each other's heads off.
Oh, you seen these refs, man, back then?
I mean, I thought I saw the guy eating popcorn on that Jess Wheeler, Jack Dempsey fight.
Yeah. Jesus.
But it was a good movie. I recommend it. I recommend
Yeah,
it.
see it, man.
Maybe if we're at my house one day just kicking it,
Yeah.
I'll play it. And it's a good movie. I liked it.
It's on Netflix or
I saw it on Showtime.
okay, sure.
Showtime, they have it on demand, so you can stream it. And yeah, dude, like I said, Joe Pesci and Robert
Oh
De Niro.
man, those guys are like.
And it's a Martin Scorsese movie too.
oh
movie,
shit.
So I believe I'm not wrong. Whatever. Who
It has
cares
to
if I'm
be.
wrong?
That
Yeah,
guy
I think
hires both of them like, for everything.
that. It's a good movie. I liked it
Yeah.
because those it gave it like a different little twist to a boxing movie. Because most movies, like we said, they kind of tell the same story, right?
Yeah.
This guy coming up, the corrupt promoters,
Yeah.
back then the mafia people, telling them to take a knee or whatnot. They show up, a lot of the same background stuff.
Is it like a love interest that like helps them?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have a woman and then they go with another woman and then they get betrayed by somebody along the way.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this movie. It was a good movie, Raging Bull.
Gotta check it out, man.
Yeah.
Sure.
And of course, I'm still watching the Mike Tyson podcast.
The podcast?
Yeah, it's fun.
I knew he put one up just like a couple days ago, right?
Yeah,
How was that?
I think with Logic, I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay.
I'm barely catching up. I've only
Alright.
watched about 5 of them, but I did see that one of the recent ones was with a rapper,
Okay.
Logic.
Mhm.
So I'm still catching up, dude.
How many episodes does he have? Oh,
Shit, I don't know.
shitload.
I just ran into it and I
Yeah.
started watching it like a couple weeks ago.
So it's called what? Hot Boxing with Mike, something
Yeah,
like that.
boxing with Mike Tyson. He smokes weed on his show, so it's a very laid back conversation, but they tell
Dope.
crazy stories.
Yeah.
It's good, man. I always play like late night when I'm ready to sleep. I just put
Okay.
it on and just chilling.
Freaking Mike.
Yeah.
Speaking about Mike, there's a fighter that got bit.
I'm like, where are you going with this?
Do you want to talk a little bit about that, Gio?
All right, so this fight happened in the UK, correct?
Yeah, the UK.
Let me pull up the article if I have it here.
Man,
Paulie,
shout out
here we
to
go.
UK fans.
Yeah, shout out to the UK fans. Oh, you never walk alone. You know what it is. I think City took first place today
Yeah.
because they played this day that we recorded. They beat some team. Somebody's like Cardiff or something.
Mm-hmm.
So they are, I think they're 1 point ahead now.
Are they caught up on games? Or is
Yeah,
it-
they did. That's why they
Okay.
played today. So they're
Okay.
all caught up in games. They made up that game that they needed. Did you see any highlights from the Tottenham against Liverpool
I
game
did see that. I saw your post
at Anfield?
and I saw Sergio's post too, of course.
Yes.
So what was it, like a last minute, like last second?
Yeah, it was like in 90th, 91st minute. Tottenham scored an own goal.
Mhm.
So it was off a Liverpool corner kick. They actually got the rebound, centered it back in. Salah headers it toward the goal. Lloris blocks it.
Mm-hmm.
It rebounds off the defender
He-
standing in front of him, and it goes in.
It goes back in, and it
On
seemed like
goal.
he could have like kicked it out, but he would have taken like Cody's. He would have kicked him in like at the same time, right? But
But
like
stuttering, right?
but you could have like, yeah, he stuttered because like I don't want to kick him, but like, dude, you let the
Yeah.
ball in. So, did you guys talk about this at all, or at the Wolfpack or not?
We didn't actually. We were busy talking about like wrestling and stuff.
Oh shit!
But yeah, when it happened live, that's what we were talking about. Like, why didn't he just fuck it, kick
Yeah,
it? Even
just-
if you kick your goalkeeper who's diving for the ball. I mean,
He's gonna like it's gonna hurt at the moment, but then he'll appreciate it like after the game. To me, that was like a respect. It's like I can't like it was like a split second of like that's my boy. Like, I
Yeah.
can't kick him. Like, but then you're like fuck.
it happens in a split second, so
Yeah.
you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, excuse me. Liverpool needed that game. They needed that game, and they won. Tough game at Anfield against Tottenham.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So they're a point behind City.
point behind City.
How many games left?
I believe there's 6.
6.
6 if I'm not mistaken. And City has a tough schedule
Okay, that's
actually
that's-
on I think it's my birthday weekend, so that'll be cool if they
Dang.
lose.
If they
So-
lose.
So they have Tottenham that weekend,
Okay.
the end of the month, I believe is the weekend of April 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then midweek they have to play Manchester United.
Yeah.
So they're playing Tottenham, Manchester United, so I'm hoping they drop some points there.
Yeah.
So it's
Well-
going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy ending to this
How
season.
about Liverpool
Liverpool?
schedule?
It looks favorable. Yeah, I don't think they have any tough games left per se,
Okay.
but it looks favorable. Their schedule looks
Yeah.
favorable.
So as long as they don't shoot themselves in the foot and they get a little help from soccer guys, they should
Yeah.
be aight.
They should be good.
Should be aight.
To me, I think they have to win every game to win the league from now on, which is possible. They had a very good run at the beginning of the season where they had a big run of just winning games, no draws or nothing. They're just winning games, and they only have one loss this season.
Dang.
That's the only thing that worries me.
That one loss, I could come back
One
and hunt
loss.
you. What did they lose to?
Not necessarily. They lost to Manchester City.
Mm.
Not necessarily, but I'm worried that. I mean, is it possible to go a whole season losing one game?
One game.
You know, that's gonna be tough. You know, you would think that they would have some slip ups on the way, but they do have like 7 draws.
Yeah.
Obviously, 1 point is better than none.
Yeah.
So, but I think they got to win every single game from now on.
Yeah.
So it looks tough. And then they're playing Porto for the Champions League. And
That's good. Yeah.
yeah,
In front.
it's gonna be tough. I don't know. I think they have Chelsea. Might be the only difficult game, but other than that, it should be good. Should be exciting, man.
So I did see the Wolfpack. Is that bet still on? Do you guys still have that bet where you're gonna get a tattoo, or you're paying for someone's tattoo if Liverpool doesn't win, and if they win, they're paying for your tattoo of
Tune
Liverpool?
in next episode for the answer of this question.
Man.
But yeah, that was the Premier League update, man.
Sure.
I hadn't updated the UK fans in a while in Premier League, so that's that. Liverpool's still up there with Manchester City. Man, you know what? Whoever wins the league, they've earned it.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It seems like it.
Liverpool 1 loss. I think City has 4, but they don't have many draws. So whoever wins, man, they earned it.
Yep.
All right, so let's go back to the Mike Tyson guy.
Tyson guy, the bite.
Luis Suarez guy. All right, so real quick. This guy's name was Cash Ali.
Ali, yeah.
So in the 5th round, he ends up on the floor against former sparring partner. Is that right? I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever. But Price is his last name.
David Price.
They somehow he kind of tackled him, right? He did a
Yeah.
spear, Goldberg
I think
spear.
he speared him a little bit, landed on top of him. It
Um,
was still holding on to him. It seemed, right?
Yeah, I wonder what happened before the fight because I didn't watch it.
I saw some highlights of it. I think he
Was
was
he frustrated?
He was getting frustrated, but not to the point where he was losing every round. It was still pretty close. I think he was like, David Price was probably up by like 2 rounds. It wasn't, and it seemed like David Price was slowing down. So that was like, to me, like, why would you like do that? Like,
Some things you just can't explain, man.
yeah,
We'll get into that a little later, but yeah, so they end up on the floor. He kind of tackles his guy down, ends up on top of him, and you just see it like his head on the other guy's torso area,
yeah,
right on his stomach.
yeah.
And then you hear the guy on the ground saying, "He's biting me."
Yeah.
Right? You hear that part? He's telling the ref he's biting me, and when they get up, he has a big mark on his left side,
Yeah.
bite mark, and obviously he was disqualified. Correct?
I want to see like the side by side of like the Mike Tyson like ear and then like this. But yeah, dude, big bite mark right there on the left side, and it just obviously like at the moment you see the little teeth marks,
Yeah.
but then you see like the after the fight and it looks worse. It's all red and
Yeah,
purple.
so Ali was 15-1 with 7 KOs. I'm reading that he's a heavyweight. I'm reading that his 20,000-pound purse is being
Ooh.
withheld right now.
So he was getting paid 20,000.
Yeah, and that fight was at Liverpool. So was this the fight on the Zone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was Liam Smith, right? That show that went on in Liverpool.
Well, actually, I'm not sure it was on the Zone. Was it?
Maybe not.
Maybe not.
I don't know, but I know there was a show
Yeah.
that day in Liverpool. I believe it was Liam Smith. But yeah, man, you guys are looking at the picture right now of the bite. Let us know what you think, man.
Man. I think he after the I read somewhere where, like, after the fight he apologized to him, but
Come on,
come
dude.
on, man, like, Jesus.
What's more flagrant, that bite or Pulev's kiss?
Oh man, shoot.
You know what,
Oh,
man?
let's talk about that.
We talked about it last week,
yeah.
but now
But now more
there are more
information came out.
developments in this story.
Dun, dun, dun.
So he's now being sued, right?
Yeah, they hired big name attorney.
Celebrity attorney or something like that.
Name escapes me right now, but yeah, she's a big time, attorney.
And he's in a
Gloria Aldridge, something like that.
so they're saying he has to explain himself to the commission, right? Was
Yeah.
it the California?
I believe.
What state was it?
So. I
Forget
forget.
the
but
Pulev fight, man.
yeah.
Damn, we got no information. Man. Man, we told you guys.
Yeah.
We're low on energy.
Some commission he has to now respond to.
Yeah, but I fucking dude, I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, which one was more flagrant? Which one do you think was more flagrant? Biting your opponent in the stomach or kissing a reporter? A female reporter. Unknowingly. Allegedly.
Yeah, I was gonna say before the kiss, I would have said the kiss is like obviously both are bad, but with everything that's
didn't
going
bite her.
on, He didn't bite her. We don't know that. We have to wait to see if there's more information comes out. Yeah, I was gonna say before it was probably the unwanted kiss because that just brings drama. But after, like we said, some more information came out. Do you want to talk a little bit about that information that came out, or
About what, Pulev?
Yeah.
Or what are we talking about?
Yeah.
We're still on Pulev?
Islam Pulev. So the the reporter, something Suche, I forget her name. It turns out that there was a video that surfaced a day later where she is seen.
I don't even know about this.
Oh, you don't know about this? Okay,
No,
I'll fill you in.
I'm intrigued.
So another video surfaced the next day that shows Suche, the female reporter that Pulev forcibly kissed, showing her at his after party, at his victory after party, where she's grinding
Really?
on one of Pulev's cornermen. So it shows her grinding on one of them, and then they catch her when she says like, "Oh, this is not being recorded like by video, is it?" Like it makes her look so bad, and so they blur out obviously like Pulev's like, and you see like on the other side there's Pulev like chilling, minding his own business, talking to his buddies. Like there's two couches. Like
Yeah.
she's grinding on one of Pulev's I think it's his brother. I don't know, but she's grinding and then she's like, "Oh, this isn't on video, right?"
Grinding.
She literally is.
I like how you
grinding.
don't have another term for it. She was grinding.
So yeah, it just looks bad, and obviously it kind of shows that Pulev is not super interested in. Before they show her trying to get that interview, and she's like, "Can we do the interview?" And she touches him, and so yeah, this is
So
it just makes her look very bad that she decided to sue Pulev, and obviously
you're hanging out with them.
yeah, obviously if you're really upset at them, why would you hang out with them at the after party? And more, why would you grind on, obviously there's drinks, shit happens, but like that just shows the unprofessionalism of that reporter, and it makes her seem like she's trying to get this money grab in.
Or the fame.
Yeah.
Wait, fuck, there's no video, right?
That's
You know,
fame,
because-
publicity.
I don't want to say anything about it because obviously this can turn into a serious topic or issue,
Yeah.
right? But when we talked about it last week on this show, I went back and I watched the video
Yeah.
and I thought it looked fake. The
Ah.
kiss. It was
Like a
it
little
was just
staged?
weird, yes.
Okay.
Because I'll talk about it later on,
Uh-huh.
when whatever. But I thought it looked fake to me. Her reaction was just like she just giggled,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Even the questions that she was asking, to me, it looked staged.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. And then the whole lawsuit thing, I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't want to jump the gun, but
So for yours, what was the more flagrant one?
I got to go with the bite right now. As of now.
As of now.
As of
True.
now.
Like this is like a developing on the side. You never know what new information might arise, but
If she would have like smacked them on the spot, I'd be like,
Yeah,
all right,
okay.
you shouldn't have done that, dude.
yeah.
But we'll see what happens. But you don't bite another person, dog. Come on. I don't care if you're in a street fight. Like, nah, dude.
I thought anything go.
You know what's funny? When I was talking about the Mike Tyson podcast, I
Yeah.
think, what was his name? Michael Rappaport.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about an instance where he got bit in the ear.
Oh,
He was
that's
telling Mike
funny.
Tyson, so they're just cracking up. He's like, dude, this guy bit me in the ear, like at a club fight or something. They were talking
Yeah.
about New York back in the days, and he got bit in the ear too.
That's funny.
And then his homies were laughing at him and shit, and like part of his ear was missing,
Oh,
like a
really?
little piece of meat from his ear.
You
It
see
was
Mike
funny.
just staring at it. He's got like flashbacks and shit.
Yeah,
Man.
Mike just had that sarcastic laugh.
Oh, that's funny. Awkward, but
Yeah.
funny.
So yeah, a lot of stuff going on outside the ring, right? The Paulie story, the Pulev.
Yeah.
Is there anything else going on?
Let's see what else.
And we talked a little bit about the schedule. So Lomachenko's going to be in action April 12th.
Mm-hmm.
He's headlining that card, obviously. Zurdo Ramirez on the undercard. Mike Alvarado's going to be on the undercard. We have Clarissa Shields against Christina Hammer.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got to memorize the name. But April's going to be a little slow, right? From what I remember.
Actually, April's gonna be busy.
Well, toward the end of the month.
Towards the end, I mean, you're gonna have Danny Garcia, Granado is gonna have the fight that you don't want to see, but the one that we're gonna buy for you. Amir Khan Crawford. You got Anthony Sims Jr.
Yeah.
and that Sor and
Soren
Estrada
Bisa Estrada.
fight.
Jesse Vargas against Humberto Soto.
Yep.
In
We'll
that
be-
same card.
We'll be calling the action, so we still have to decide. Like, I know you want us to call the actions because we do have a show.
Yeah.
We have All Star Boxing that same day, so we have a little dilemma here at ATR that we're gonna have to figure out. But yeah, a lot of actually, it's a good action this April, and then obviously we know what's coming in May.
Yeah, nothing major coming on this weekend, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not this weekend of April, so we get a little, guess you can say mini break, which has been crazy because we need with the energy this week.
I need some break, man. I need a break.
Yeah,
It's been a crazy weekend.
yeah, it's crazy.
All right, so yeah, nothing major going on this weekend. There are some fights. There are some fights on ESPN Plus, on Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing I'm interested in talking about in the moment. You texted us about Steve Forrest fighting Tavoris Teague,
Yeah,
April 6th,
April 6th.
Oregon.
Crazy.
Yeah, and then April 12th, Lomachenko against Anthony Crolla. 12 rounds for Lomachenko's WBA and WBO lightweight title.
Mm-hmm.
We mentioned the undercard. We'll be there. The next day, Clarissa Shields against Christina Hammer, 10 rounds, like I said, for the IBF, WBA, WBC, WBO Women's Middleweight Championship.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that should be good. I'm going to try to watch it. But the same day, Jaime Munguia is fighting Dennis Hogan. We talked a little bit to Jaime Munguia about that fight. It's going to be from Monterrey
Mm-hmm.
and live on the zone for Munguia's WBO junior middleweight title.
Nice.
Diego De La Hoya is on the undercard of that. The same day, Caleb Chua against Peter Quillen.
Kid Chocolate.
12 rounds, IBF middleweight eliminator.
Niño
Right.
Chocolate.
That's the title that Daniel Jacobs has at the moment. Oh,
Mhm.
he'll still have it by then. April 13.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Minneapolis. Fox Sports 1. Fox Sports or Fox Deportes. Joey Spencer's fighting in that fight.
Oh, yeah, that guy's good.
Yeah.
Good little knockout artist.
Davichenko's also on the undercard against Jack Kosai, whatever. 12 rounds, same thing. IBF middleweight eliminator.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's that. April 13th. April 20, we have ESPN pay-per-view live from New York. MSG, correct?
Yeah.
Is it the Rio Arena or the theater?
You have to look into that. Yeah, not sure.
Terrence Crawford against Amir Khan. 12 rounds for Crawford's WBO welterweight championship.
Yeah.
We have Shakur Stevenson against Christopher Diaz for 10 rounds in that same card. Teofimo Lopez against Eddie Statley, 10 rounds as well. Lightweights, and we have Felix Verdejo against Brian Vasquez, 10 rounds. Lightweights as well. Look, you're going to pay for it? You're not going to pay for it, dog.
We'll see.
So I was reading that they're going to show some of the prelims on regular ESPN for that card.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell you guys a little bit more later on, maybe next week. There's some fights from London in the zone, on the zone. And then, yeah, after that, Srisaket Sorung Visai against Juan Francisco Estrada. It's a rematch, 12 rounds for Sorung Visai's WBC Junior Bantamweight title.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to give any predictions right now or no?
I said we wait a little bit.
All right.
Next couple of weeks.
I was leaning towards Sorung Visai,
Yeah.
but I do got to go back and watch the first fight.
Yeah.
I got to watch that one and then see what's up. But there's another title fight. Daniel Roman against TJ Dahani.
Mm-hmm.
12 rounds for the WBA and IBF junior featherweight titles. We have Jesse Vargas against La Zorrita Soto.
Damn. Zorrita Soto, man. Sure. Got this fight.
10 rounds junior middleweights. And then we're also going to have Scott Quigg against TBA, 10 rounds. We're going to have Anthony Sims Jr. versus TBA, 10 rounds. We're going to have Giasov, TBA, 6 or 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Even that's TBA.
So
Welterweights.
we're having fun with that Anthony Sims because they're looking for an opponent. And I was like, hey, Chris, I was like, just tell Brandon Adams, tell one of his homies if they want to fight.
What's up?
We're like matchmaking now and shit.
We're also going to have Diego Pacheco versus TBA, 4 rounds. And Austin Williams versus TBA, 4 rounds. And that card from Inglewood, from the Forum, on the Zone. It's a Friday, April 26th. We'll get a little bit more into it.
Yeah.
As the month goes on. But it looks like for April, that might be it, man. Nonito Donaire is fighting at the end of the month for the World Super Series.
That's right. Gotta get him on.
Solani Tete against Nonito Donaire. 12 rounds for the WBO and WBA
That's the last week of April.
Bantamweight Championship. Yeah, that should be a Saturday.
Cool.
Yeah, right, because the
Yeah.
Inglewood fights are Friday. That fight's on Saturday. Damn, that weekend is going to be crazy.
Yeah.
Robert Easter is going to fight April 27th.
Yeah, we'll reach out to Nonito and see if we could get him a quick interview with him. His thoughts on his upcoming fight.
Yeah, but those are the notable names for April. Like we said, it's going to slow down a little bit, but then it's going to pick it back up at the end of the month.
Yeah.
You know, good little build-up for the Cinco de Mayo fights, obviously. And we'll see. Summer's always hot, man.
Yeah, summer's hot.
We're going to have Tyson Fury coming back. Probably going to have Triple G
Coming back. Yeah.
Obviously, like we said, Canelo Jacobs. And we'll see who else, man.
Yep.
It's going to be interesting.
Should be good, man.
Deontay, right? Deontay should be fighting.
Should be fighting as well. Yeah. Staying busy. Brazil. It should be good.
Yeah, should be good.
Yeah.
How much time we got over here? For an hour. Anything else from the boxing world?
Nothing inside the ring. I mean, a little shout out to Anthony Sims Jr. He did come to Dominguez Hills University, and we were able to help him out a little bit, connect them with the students here. He was able to talk about mental health, mental advocacy, and man, like it was wish I could have been here, Gio. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's funny because we had like this whole structure, the organization that I'm part of, the mentoring. They had a structure for him to speak, and I wasn't too for it. I was like, it's too structured, and I feel like I didn't even have to tell.
First of all, how do you structure the speaker?
Right, exactly. So like, since picked it up, and now
You're gonna talk about this, and you're gonna talk about this.
Since picked it up right away. He's like, I'm just gonna go raw, and and he did, and it worked. It worked out great. The students really connected with him. He actually took his time to ask each one of them, like, ask me anything. And there was probably he went around the whole room. There was probably about, I want to say, 60 to 70 students. So he asked them, like, each one person, like, ask me whatever you want. And yeah, dude, it was pretty dope. Like, he got some stuff out of like these students that you wouldn't expect, man. And
Oh, really?
Yeah, safe to say, like, he was in the, he started in the front like a normal speaker. By the end of the session, he was in the middle of everybody. Everybody's like eyes glued to him. He had everybody's attention. Obviously, like, they all became like fans after that. Everybody wants to know. Obviously, we helped him with his promoting his fight.
Yeah.
Which is April 26th, Friday at the Forum. And so yeah, man, it was pretty cool. It was.
Now, none of these guys were boxing fans, right?
None of these guys, like maybe one, but he didn't know who he was, and so yeah. After that, they were like, "Man, this guy's awesome." Chris was there, Viper Chris was there, Rodriguez. And I told them, I was like, "Hey, you gotta ask him that. You gotta ask him the question." He's like, "Which one?" And I was like, "Obviously, these kids don't know, who he's related to,
Oh,
and
okay.
obviously, he's not gonna bring attention to it because he's
Yeah,
not that type."
Yeah,
So I was like, "You gotta like let them know because he's not gonna do it."
yeah.
So towards the end, Chris was like, he made the comment like, "Oh, you guys, Paul would never guess it, but like, and he's like, he was gonna say it. Chris was like, oh, this guy's related to," and then since it's like, let me stop you there, I'll do it, I'll say it. And so he cut him off, and he explained again like some of his upbringing and how he's related to Floyd. And yeah, dude, he's all like, "I'm not like him, like I want to make my own path, blah blah blah." And so a lot of the people there were pretty surprised, like, "What? Like, really? Like, this is already like 2 hours in, like, really, you are related to that guy? How?" And
That,
so
that's one of the first things that I tell people, because that's how you capture their attention, right?
yeah,
You just say, "Oh, this guy is related to Mayweather," and they're like, "Oh shit,"
yeah,
right? And then when you see the stuff that he talks about, you would never guess it,
yeah,
right? Because I mean, obviously they were raised by, I don't know if I want to say similar background, but I mean, you come from the same blood,
yeah,
basically, and just their paths were so different,
mm-hmm.
right? And then even now, the path that he's taken as a boxer is so different from
Yeah.
Floyd's. So that's cool, man. You guys got to do it again sometime, maybe
Yeah.
next semester or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, we talked to
And we'll have more time to promote it and stuff like that, because we didn't really talk about it too much
yeah, yeah.
on this show.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll definitely gonna bring him back, even bigger crowd, because they loved him. They want to see him again. But yeah, dude, huge shout out to Anthony Sims for coming on and showing these students that they do have a role model out there that's gonna pave the way to for better things in boxing, more so than boxing. He's gonna make this place a better world and stuff.
Yeah. Reminds me of Nipsey Hussle, right?
Yeah,
I know it's tough to talk about it. Happened last weekend. I'm not gonna go into the details because it's not something that I want to talk about. But I mean, it was just another person, right, who
yeah,
had a rough upbringing and wanted to do positive stuff now as an adult. And he was in a place to help people out, help
Yeah.
out the community, right? And yeah, I mean, Anthony Sims Jr. is trying to do a lot of similar stuff, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Nipsey Hussle was 33 years old, and yeah, he's no longer here.
yeah. Something that that Anthony always pushes is like finding your passion and then finding what you were brought in this world for. And obviously Nipsey found his calling, and his legacy is always gonna live on. And everybody that loved Nipsey, your brother included, our friend Robinho, Brian, those guys, they know his legacy, and millions more, thousands more will, hopefully will continue. And Nipsey will inspire them to do something,
Yeah.
even though it's small, like he has inspired a generation to, do.
It's crazy that you say that now, because in one of
Yeah.
his lyrics in the song with Kendrick Lamar, because Tupac talked a lot about that too.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I may not be that person who changes the world, but
Yeah.
maybe I spark,
Yeah.
that next person's brain to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Tupac had a poem or a song about, I think it was like basically plant growing from a crack
Mm-hmm.
of the sidewalk, right?
Yeah.
And Nipsey talked about that. I don't remember the exact line, but he talked about those things, right? How he was so inspired by Tupac, and that he was that,
Crazy.
basically, being inspired, living in a rough neighborhood, but then being inspired by, somebody like Tupac. And it's crazy that he kind of did the same thing for, the next generation.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, and those two guys, man, they have a lot of things in common, and you know, those are the type of guys that they're legends. They'll be remembered. They'll be, they won't be forgotten. And again, their legacy is gonna live through the works of other people who they've inspired. And so,
I mean, hopefully people will take this, try to use it as a positive thing, right? Because I remember when it happened, I was just like, damn. It was on a Sunday. It was like a beautiful day, sunny, and it was just crazy because you would think that Nipsey's just like untouchable.
Yeah.
He died in his neighborhood where he grew up. He was loved. You see that by the aftermath. The next day, people, going to the place where his life was taken to show their respects. And it was just crazy that it happened in his own neighborhood, right? And yeah, I mean, it's tough to talk about it.
Yeah.
But hopefully, people try to take the positive out of this. And I'm pretty sure everybody could use, something that Nipsey had said in their daily lives, whether it's from one of his songs or from one of his interviews,
Yeah.
It's tough.
So.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna go into the details. But if you guys want to go into, Google the stuff, the suspect was captured, stuff like that. But there are surveillance videos too of the actual killing happening. But like I said, it's tough to talk about. But I mean, I had been listening to him since my high school days.
Yeah.
That's like probably over 10 years ago.
Yeah, it was you and your brother that introduced me. I would have not have known like who this guy was.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for you, Robinho, your brother. And like I told you before, like your brother's the type of guy that doesn't like people.
Yeah.
And so and then he talks about this guy and he says this is his favorite one of his favorite rappers.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because his music was very motivational, right? It's not like he was the best lyricist or he made like the best songs in the world. But I don't know, something about it, just every time I listen to his songs, it just hit, And yeah, he was just starting to be in the mainstream limelight. He's been around forever. He's done songs with Snoop Dogg and The Game and Kendrick. He actually didn't want to play Snoop Dogg in the Tupac movie. Because they wanted him to play it, but he was one of those dudes who he said he didn't want to be remembered for being Snoop Dogg, the character in the movie. He kind of wanted to make a name for himself and be remembered for his music, his entrepreneurship.
That's something that I've noticed, because I remember like Alexis would talk about it since back then, and then I'm like, why? At first I would think like, why hasn't he gone like mainstream? But it's more of a independent thing, right?
He owned all his music.
He didn't want to. What's the thing where you don't want to
sell out, quote unquote?
Sell out, yeah. You don't want to. If something's that's like he didn't want to. Well, yeah, I guess you could say sell out. But he kept those same
values.
Values. There you go.
Yeah.
Same values. Even if he didn't hit the mainstream, but like he's more like I'm gonna stay the same. This is me. This is what I'm gonna remain. And so.
Yeah, and he was still making a lot of money from his music, and he had a clothing store. He had a lot of partnerships with the restaurants. He actually owned the property where his life was taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat that. He actually owned the property.
Yeah.
Right. He actually owned that shopping center. That property was his. He had recently bought it, so it's not like he only owned a store
or rented or.
They were paying rent to him.
Yeah.
The people who owned businesses there, which I think was a couple because I think he owned the fish market. I think he owned the burger joint, and then the clothing store as well. So, when celebrities die, it never hits me because at the end of the day, I'm like, who cares? Like, it might sound cruel, but at the end of the day, to me, it's just I'm looking at it through a TV screen, right? It's just people who do a show or do a movie, right? So, but this one hit because how many of those people, those celebrities actually invest in their communities? How many actually go back and spend money on the neighborhoods where they grew up? And, he was an employee for a lot of people. He was an employer. A lot of people had jobs because of him, those businesses. And he still had a lot of ideas for that area, to make it better.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It hit for many reasons, but it sucks to have somebody so young you know, and having a positive impact on the
Mhm.
community, you know, get taken away.
Mm-hmm. And it's a community that like needs this, like that needs those bridges. That's like
Yeah.
it just shows how selfless he is, and that's something that's super rare. Like especially in this generation where we're taught to look out for ourselves and you know look out for number one. You know, it's yeah.
Yeah, and he had a 2-year-old son, I believe,
Mm-hmm.
from Lauren London, and he had an older daughter too. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. You know, when we end the show, I'm gonna play my favorite Nipsey Hussle song.
For sure.
I'm sure most people haven't listened to or heard the song, but inspirational music, you know, my opinion. But yeah, rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. Like I said, hopefully people, you know, take the positives out of this, you know, because obviously people want to point out negatives or,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's obviously tragic and all
Yeah.
that stuff. But you know, like I said, you can learn from anything that he's said in the past, whether it's from a song or from an interview
Mm-hmm.
or just by the things he did, you know, invest in his community where he grew up. He wanted to make it a better place.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's that, man. Anything else that you want to close it off with? Oh yeah, let me add that Russell Westbrook had a triple-double. I remember I asked you before the show about this, but you didn't know all the details.
Yeah.
So Russell Westbrook, who's from LA, I think he
Mhm.
was born in Long Beach actually.
I think
He didn't
so,
go to
yeah.
school here, but
Shit. We claiming him.
yeah, we're claiming everybody from Long Beach, man. We're not just claiming Snoop, man. But yeah, Russell Westbrook, of course, it was against the Lakers. They played at Oklahoma. They beat the Lakers, but he had a triple-double. He had 20 points,
Mm-hmm.
20 rebounds, 21 assists.
Damn. 21 assists?
21 assists.
Holy
So 20, the first time it's been done since Will Chamberlain.
Triple-double and double. Damn.
Since Will Chamberlain,
Yeah.
let me find the year.
Freaking Will's like the stat
1968.
machine. Yeah.
So he's the first one to do it, and he dedicated it to Nipsey because
Mm.
he's obviously from the LA area, and I guess they got to know each other, made a friendship there, and yeah. So Russell Westbrook, after he told the TNT reporters post game interview that it was for Nipsey, and he said, "It's for Nipsey, 20 plus 20 plus 20," and he said, "Y'all know what that is." So
Dang.
yeah, that was Russell with his triple-double, historic triple-double.
Mhm.
But you can just see it like in the whole community. And,
Mhm.
you know, the basketball community was deeply hurt by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Steph talking about it and KD.
LeBron.
Yeah. A lot of people, man. But that's why I didn't want to start on that note, the
Yeah.
show, because
Yeah, no, yeah.
it's tough,
somber,
man.
yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, no, in a way, he was like this generation. I don't want to say he was like, but he was like reminiscent of Pac. And you said it earlier. He just
Same idea, same.
same ideas, man. Just selflessness. Just more than you were just bigger than yourself. You're there for the community and stuff.
Yeah, man, it's tough, but you know, thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back next week. Like I said, it's gonna be slow a little bit for boxing, but you know, talk a little bit about sports, a little
Yeah.
bit of stuff going outside. Obviously, this is not a topic that we want to talk about, you know, the Nipsey Hussle one, but you know, respect to Nipsey Hussle, you know, and hopefully we don't see that again.
Yeah. Just look at the positives, like you said, bro.
Yeah.
Look at the positives, man. Hopefully, a lot of, you know, famous celebrities, you know, try to follow his legacy and invest back in the community because he was only one man, but you know, hopefully his impact can influence others, you know, to shoot back at the community and because all those resources do help these kids that they're not used to having, you know, all these things, computers, laptops. You know, they were talking about how he wanted to bridge, you know, Silicon Valley with the inner city youth, and you know, you never know, we might see the next entrepreneur come out of that hood. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he was beyond his years, is beyond his
Oh,
time,
yeah.
man. he was talking about cryptocurrency
Yeah.
like 5 years ago when nobody was talking about it. I
Yeah.
remember when I was hearing about it, I was like, what is that? You know, but he already had like investments and all those things, and yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
Man.
I remember your brother would tell me all about that. Oh, this guy's doing this, doing that, and I'm like, "Fuck is this? Like, what is all this?"
Yeah.
So like, man, it's
Crazy.
smart shit, like smart stuff, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that, man. And that's it for our
That's
show,
it.
man. That concludes episode 29 of Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys next week. Any last words on your part?
No, just you know, shout out to Sims again. Thank you for coming through. You know, obviously, you know, just huge shout out to everybody that's doing their part to make their community and everybody around them better. It's like I said, it's very rare for, you know, people to be unselfish nowadays. So if you're doing something for others, man, just keep doing it.
Even if it's
Something small, you
yeah,
know,
even if it's something small, man.
small things mean so much. So there you go.
All right, thank you guys for tuning in, man. See you guys next week.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you for the support. Keep doing your thing. You're doing a great job. So thank you and best wishes.
Against the Ropes. Huge shout out to Against the Ropes. Against the Ropes.
Shout out to Against the Ropes. Thank you guys for the interview, and hope to see you guys soon.
Against the Ropes, always doing the right thing.
Shout out to Against the Ropes, man. I appreciate you guys for having me, taking the time out y'all day.
Against the Ropes, #1.
Freddie Roach.
Thank you very much.